Ladies and gentlemen, I'm getting excited. I'm doing it again. I'm doing that thing again where I get excited. We're talking about a move that President Trump made early today that I think is truly 3D chess. It's 5D chess. That's what they call it. It's a brilliant play. But before we get into that, ladies and gentlemen, you guys know Dan Crenshaw, the biggest rhino in Congress. I'm just saying, something may be happening in Texas that no one expected. Steve Tot, something's happening in Texas. I just want to put that out there, okay? So, what is going on in Iran is a special military operation that anyone would call a war, of course. And every war, whenever things get blown up, influence other things. So shipping routes have been canceled. The Strait of Hormuz is under severe threats. The Iranians are trying to blockade trade. They've used their drones to attack trading vessels, oil tankers. So what President Trump has done, ladies and gentlemen, in my opinion, is what America First is. Take an opportunity and see how the United States can benefit from it. Let me just go right into this because it's so big. So, President Trump posted this hours ago, saying effective immediately, he has ordered the United States Development Finance Corporation, DFC, to provide at a very reasonable price political risk insurance and guarantees for the financial security of all maritime trade, especially energy, traveling through the Gulf. This will be available to all shipping lines. If necessary, the United States will begin escorting tankers through the Strait of Hormuz as soon as possible. No matter what, the United States will ensure the free flow of energy to the world. The United States' economic and military might is the greatest on earth. More actions to come. Thank you for your attention to this matter, Donald J. Trump. Look, this is incredible. Global shipping is like a cartel. A few companies own all the vessels. A few companies insure all the vessels. But if suddenly the biggest insurance companies across the globe start canceling policies, that creates a vacuum. That creates an opportunity. And Trump is seeing the opportunity as a businessman. It's a multi-billion dollar opportunity to profit for the United States. This is incredible stuff. Steve Skojec on X gave a pretty good breakdown on this, saying this is a ballsy power play by Trump. Lloyd's of London was the gold standard for maritime insurance policies until just a day or two ago, when they started canceling policies or jacking them up 3 times to 5 times. Other insurers followed. That collapsed international commercial shipping traffic through the Hormuz, which choked oil coming out of the Middle East. People think the Strait of Hormuz only has to do with Iran's oil, but the Saudis use it, the Emiratis, the Kuwaitis, the Bahrainites, whatever they are. All of those countries in the Gulf rely on the Strait of Hormuz for global shipments of oil, and it's a critical waterway. So if Iran threatens it and the United States comes in, suddenly we have a multi-billion dollar opportunity. Trump doing this means the DFC has the chance to displace Lloyd's as the big dog in this game, when they have been the lock-in player for many years. It also frees up all the oil that was getting trapped there, heading off shortages and keeping the energy market alive. And why not? It's the American Navy that sunk the Iranian ships that were harassing tankers. And the American Navy, at least for now, will keep those tankers safe. It's a huge reassurance to allies, both oil producers and oil consumers, that our campaign in Iran isn't going to sink their economies. And it allows America to be choosy about traffic in the Strait. It also potentially means billions of dollars in insurance premiums at wartime rates going to America instead of the UK, the United Kingdom. And those rates are still going to be cheaper than what shippers were getting. Ladies and gentlemen, Trump is the first president to successfully make military action profitable. We're burning billions of dollars every day. Every bomb is like 20 million. I mean, the defensive missiles, the offensive missiles, we're spending $10 million at some points to shoot down $50,000 drones. It's crazy. So I think this is a wild way for Trump to begin to make a return on this investment. If we're going to get regime change in Iran, because this is a regime change effort, a war to change the regime, that's evident by the fact that we've assassinated the whole regime at this point, we might as well profit. I love it. I love how this works. Now, if you're asking yourself, how much is the global insurance markets for shipping vessels in the Strait of Hormuz or international waters? Well, London marine insurers expand Gulf high risk zone as Middle East conflict escalates. So this is like a maritime website saying the rates are going up in the insurance market. Now, how much is the global shipping insurance industry worth annually? If you're wondering how rich we're about to be, the global shipping and insurance industry, which includes marine cargo and logistics insurance, is valued at approximately 50 billion to 70 billion plus annually as of 2023 and 2025, with projections indicating it will exceed. Global trade never slows down, it only ever increases, to 100 billion by the early 2030s. That's why I think this is massive, because suddenly we capture a market we had no business being a player in. Now the DFC, this is our finance institution from a government level, and their job is to foster private sector growth across the world. It manages all kinds of investments around. It's like a version of a sovereign wealth fund. Oh, and of course, it was created in Trump's first term. It serves as a successor to the Overseas Private Investment Corporation, with a higher lending cap of $60 billion. This thing buys assets, it gives out loans, and now it's in the insurance business. Ha ha! I love it. I think this is precisely the kind of thing Trump is good at. Looking for opportunities and capitalizing. The United States is now in the insurance business. We will now get paid massively, handsomely, and this money goes right into the government's coffers. If tariff revenue got reduced, we just found a new source, an industry that is going to be $100 billion in 3 years and is currently about $70 billion annually. And we're doing all of that for free, technically. We were always going to bomb Iran. So why don't we just find a way to make it work, make it profitable? I think this is so, it's just so amazing. Plus, it builds our credibility. The whole world relies on us already for maritime security. If your ship gets stuck in Somalia's coast and pirates are sieging you, You're calling the Americans. You're not calling the British. You're not calling Germans. Germans. You're not calling the Russians. You're praying to God. The US of A, baby, is around the corner. And so why don't we profit from the security we provide nations? Now, on Iran, I do want to just give everyone an update because I imagine some people clicked for a more technical update on the ground. It goes as follows. Today is day 4 of operations. I think the number is exceeding 2,000 unique airstrikes on Iran. So Israel and the United States have conducted over 2,000. I don't even know how that's logistically possible in 4 days. It's insane. These are precision strikes. They used B-1s, B-2s, every bomber. Everything has been used. B-52s are now being used. They have completely degraded Iran's capabilities to defend themselves. All their missile defense systems, most have been taken out, not all. Some still exist. They downed an Israeli drone early this morning or late yesterday. So it's a one-sided thing. Iran's response has led to the deaths of a few Americans in Kuwait, I believe, and in Bahrain. It is incredibly sad. It's a war. So war things are happening. War casualties are happening. What's happening is this is quickly turning into some version of a war of attrition. So who's going to run out of what? Who knows? Who's going to run out? Iran makes low-cost drones, and the coalition of defensive partners, the UK, France, and all the other countries and the Gulf states that are participating in defense are spending tens of millions to shoot down that one drone. It's becoming a costly war. President Trump has reassured people that despite claims the United States is not going to run out of weapons, of bombs, of the things necessary, but it is evident that defensive stockpiles are heavily depleted. We can attack Iran for years straight. We have enough. Enough, okay? We have a lot. 2 aircraft carriers, running flights constantly. You can do whatever you want for a crazy period of time. But defensively, if you haven't eliminated Iran's ability to respond with kinetic strikes off their territory, then you run the risk of suffering more and more damage. And that's what we're seeing. They successfully struck a radar that Space Force built for $1.1 billion at the Al Udeid or Udeid base. Udeid, I don't know, man. These Middle Eastern names are crazy. They struck it with like a $100,000 drone. They killed a radar that cost $1 billion to build. It's not a joke. And they struck it with a drone that some mechanics in some industrial warehouse somewhere in Tehran built. So it's weird because on the one hand, the U.S. is so devastating and precise and lethal when it comes to targeted operations, assassinations on the ground, but we're vulnerable when it comes to defending missiles. And it seems like if we do not hurry and completely eliminate their ability to launch rockets and missiles, more American lives are going to be taken. And that's kind of the situation there right now. There's a report going out that the CIA is propping up some Kurdish forces, militias, some groups to start a ground offensive against Iran as opposed to U.S. troops, which Congress would have to authorize. And I don't think there's an appetite for that just yet. So it's kind of a weird situation. It's constantly developing. It's like you have these significant battlefield victories. They've sunk like 17 Iranian ships, but Iran has still dealt devastating damage. It's going to take like 5 to 10 years to replenish a lot of what they've, destroyed. It takes us a month to build a handful of Patriot missiles, and they're like, running through them like crazy because they can launch these cheap missiles and strike. So yeah, this is a crazy situation. So I guess what Trump's statement is aimed at doing is reassuring people that we're not running out of weapons, which is true, offensive weapons, but it's obvious that we're kind of running short on missiles to block these cheaper munitions from Iran. And so that's the situation. And you have to remember, like, Iran's a big country. Right? It's not a small this is like a visualizer, because you look at the Middle East and it's like, it looks small, but you compare it over the United States, it is huge. You could go from the southernmost point in Iran would be like Miami, and the northernmost point would be near Lincoln, Nebraska, which is Lincoln, Nebraska. That's a big distance. Yeah, so it's not a small country, and the U.S. currently has operational domination over the western part, but the eastern part, Iran still has missile defense systems. So yeah, it's going to take a significant amount of time. Well, not comparatively speaking, relatively speaking. When I say a significant amount of time, it might just take an extra 10 weeks to flatten the curve. 2 weeks to flatten the curve. Oh gosh, it's like PTSD for me. You guys remember 2 weeks to flatten the curve? So that's kind of a quick fire update. I'll keep monitoring it. I am getting bored. The headlines are virtually the same every day. Early in the morning, Iran sends like some missiles. They mostly get shot down, a few land, and then throughout the day, the U.S. and Israel, like more strikes, and then repeat. Like that's how it goes. And then you have like some random guy, I don't know, Douglas McGregor, who says Iran, they haven't even been hit. And it's like, come on, bro. Of course they've been hit. Like, what are you talking about? Their entire leadership got destroyed in like 2 hours. Yeah. I don't know. What is it with guys like that? Douglas McGregor goes on these shows and he's like, Iran, oh my gosh. And it's like they overhyped Iran to Iran's demise. The Iranians started believing the hype. They were like, oh, you know what? Maybe we do have the capability to prosecute a full-on war in this manner. I mean, the thing with Iran is I don't really know how feasible regime change is. Because you can take out the top guy, but they built an entire industry around replacing the top guy if the top guy ever got taken out. The IRGC was created to secure the continuity of the regime. So I'm not really sure how you go about taking out the regime if there's like an apparatus to maintain the regime. I don't know. The IRGC gets more funding than the conventional Iranian military. Like, just think about that. Imagine this is how this works. You have the Republicans and Democrats. Let's say the Democrats take control and they make it a one state, one party rule sort of thing. And then they create their own military to protect that rule. So that if you take out the one Democrat at the top, or 50 of them at the top, there's like millions of others who have been trained to replace that one guy, you know? You take out the Ayatollah, or the supreme leader, and there's another Ayatollah waiting for him, like, to replace him. And each one's like more hard-lined than the others. It's tough. So maybe that's why the CIA is like, all right, let's go to Iraq and get, partner with some Kurds forces, some Kurds people, some Kurdish, and, do a ground offensive and deplete the IRGC that way. Because even if you destroy Iran's ability to respond through missiles against these attacks, you still can't do a regime change. Because the only people with the guns in the country are the IRGC. And their whole thing is we have to keep the regime in place. So it's going to be really interesting how that develops. I think the Trump plan was simple. Like, we take out the Ayatollah, and then everyone else looks and is like, I'm not trying to be next. Let's make a deal. But I don't know if that's happening, or we don't know yet. It might be happening behind the scenes, but it sounds like they picked the Ayatollah's son to replace the father. And I can't imagine the son betraying the father by making a deal with the Trump administration. We'll see. Or they take out the son, but someone else who is more hardened is going to take charge. So it's just like a weird evolving situation. Iran is like a third of the U.S. population. They have 90 million people. It's not really that simple, right? Like, let's say you take out the entire IRGC, which you can only do in conventional warfare. Like, military strikes are good for precision, getting the job done efficiently. But if the job is taking out an entire industry of radicals, I don't know if you can do that with just missiles. You need to actually go in and have U.S. forces and Humvees looking over their shoulders. Like, maybe that's something no one would support, and Trump doesn't want, because he's all about doing it fast. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, it's a little bit of a casual update on Iran. Let's read some of these messages here. Ayatollah, did you pull out? That's funny. So only send boots that volunteer. What do you mean boots that volunteer? Oh, by the way, I do want to mention this because it is on the agenda. The United States is conducting some operations in Ecuador. I think it's Ecuador, yeah? With the Ecuadorian government. So, against the cartels, of course. Yeah, I just wanted to put that out there in case you guys haven't seen. Oh, it's confirmed. Dan Crenshaw has lost. It's the greatest day of my life. It looks like Ken Paxton and John Cornyn are heading to a runoff for the Texas primary. Trump needs to endorse Paxton, man. What is going on? Yes, this is amazing. Dan Crenshaw has lost. This is the greatest news ever. This is so awesome. I love it. He's listening, Eye Patch McCain. The nicknames. This is just so good. Man. But that guy embodies everything wrong with the Republican Party. Like, you have so many amazing people to pick from, and you pick that guy consistently. This is amazing. But let me make sure. So Texas District 2, how is that drawn? Because it matters more. Oh, absolutely it's red. Okay, so it's a plus 12 Republican district. Okay, it's a red district. Yeah, because my fear is, we're getting excited, but the redistricting might have, okay, it didn't change the fact that it's a red district. That's massive. That's actually a game changer right there. Yes, he's out. And Steve Todt is solid, actually, from what I understand. I remember this guy's name attached with election integrity, some efforts to pass like anti-big tech laws. Hold on, election integrity, fraud. Yeah, election fraud and new legislation of 2023. He was pushing a lot of bills for election integrity. So that already tells me, his mind's in the right place, and he's officially primarying Dan Crenshaw. That's, Texas. Congratulations. I was starting to think Texas people were fake tough, They do all this. Oh, we're from Texas. And then, half of Houston is Indian. But this is some real work. I love it. Amazing work. They're letting like Muslims build a specialized city for themselves on the outskirts of Dallas or something. What is that? Millennium City? Like, what do they call that place? Muslim City, Texas. Epic City. Yeah, Epic. Weird name. What a weird name. Yeah. They better stop that. I mean, they need to stop that. But yeah, this is good stuff for Texas, man. They could have used some serious leadership. And I think Texas is one place that redistricted correctly, because they didn't just draw districts to heavily favor Republicans. They drew a lot of Democrat districts to be more competitive. And I think that's a good balance. Yeah, I think that's a great balance. I mean, yeah, plus 5 Republican districts, but the bigger picture is I think a lot of the super blue ones have moved closer to being competitive, which is how it should be in a state like Texas. Jasmine Crockett lost. Oh, man. So she's out of Congress. She just lost. Oh, I guess they didn't want a strong black woman. Whoever decided to redraw Jasmine Crockett's seat and kick her out of it was a genius. Thank God for you. Wow, amazing stuff. I love this. She's gone. She just lost massively. Have I seen all of the Muslim communities? If you mean, have I gone to the Muslim communities to see them? No, but I think you mean, am I reading about them? Yeah, constantly. They're popping up all over the place. And that's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. Who needs enclaves? Who the heck called for enclaves? Leave that to the British and French, man. They have these neighborhoods they've surrendered to, I don't know, Bangladeshis. And it's that's the Bangladesh area. It's so funny that liberal Democrats across the world promote this idea that, everyone's just going to be together. It's going to be multicultural. But the only thing that ends up happening is you just have enclaves. The Pakistanis live in one area. The Bangladeshis live here. The Indians live here. But specifically the Sikhs, the Punjabs live over there. It's I thought the proposition for multiculturalism was everyone's together. It's look at my family. Look how we're all together. And my family I thought that was the proposition. But But I guess in Europe's case, it's just, you know, a Senegalese neighborhood in France, a Congolese, like, okay, Europe needs to do what Lee Kuan Yew did in Singapore. Singapore is a country with no native people, technically, right? You have the Chinese Singaporeans, the Malaysian Singaporeans, the Indian Singaporeans. And you know what that guy did? He said, you guys are going to have to live together. He literally put quotas on public housing neighborhoods. You can't really do that in Texas, but you can restructure these communities. At least in Europe. Europe has way more power to do whatever they want in terms of enforcing social causes than the United States. We have a constitution that sets the play, you know? You can't deviate from the routes. You're going to have to run this route and get this ball to that exact pocket. That's it. That's the Constitution. At least Europe, like, the government can just decide to ban hijabs. And it doesn't violate any amendment right. You know, it doesn't violate the First Amendment. We can't do that. We can't ban the... I guess we could on the grounds of law enforcement, sure. But Europe can just... They can do that sort of thing. They can just decide to reorganize their ghettos to be more feasible, to force some sort of assimilation. But they won't do that. So they have Muslim enclaves, and it's happening in the United States. You have enclaves of different people. The Indians are building weird statues in Texas to gods you and I have never heard of. You know, Waha Guru, I don't know. It's not it. It's just not it. Did Al Green win? No. No. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold on. Hold up. Christian Menefee, Democrat, of course. He's leading against Al Green. Ladies and gentlemen, don't get me excited. Don't tell me Al Green's about to lose. Oh, hold on. Hold on, baby. Hold on, baby. Hold on. I am excited about this. I don't even care who this... He might be worse, you know? Like a younger Al Green. I will absolutely accept this. Is Brandon Herrera doing anything? I know he's in a race against Tony Gonzalez, and he's not like a great person. Oh, wow, that's tight. So Al Green is, yeah, he's at 43%. Christian Menefee is at 48. So what? Does that also go to the runoffs? Texas Supreme Court orders all votes cast in Dallas County to be separated. That's a Supreme Court that is doing something. Thousands of voters showed up at the wrong location. Yeah, if that was in California, they would never stop anything. They would never. So I'm assuming, okay, let me go. Brandon Herrera. Yeah, that's horrible. 55% of the votes in, and he's down 5 points. Yeah, Texas. But you guys, you did so well, though, with getting rid of that dork, Dan Crenshaw. I don't want to see him in Congress ever again. They extended voting in Dallas. Okay, so they're extending voting while separating the ballots from Dallas. That's smart. Someone says, what's going on? Are we winning? Who's we? And in what way? So I guess the show is turning into covering a little bit of the election in Texas. If Sharia law was outlawed, what would Islamists do? It's technically already outlawed in the United States because it violates the Constitution. You can't have any law, you know. Oh man. The Republicans lost in a special election in Arkansas. Okay, whatever. Al Green is the missing link. You wanted to like Dan Crenshaw. I mean, I thought he, when he came through initially, I thought, okay, this guy he's different. He's a Navy SEAL. He might be different, but no, he went in and he was just the worst, consistently on the wrong side of every issue. I just don't understand a guy like Dan Crenshaw. Obviously, he must be getting paid handsomely by lobbyists. Oh, Jasmine's going to start a podcast now? Oh, that's the problem, man. Someone like a Jasmine Crockett leaves Congress, and instead of just fading into irrelevancy, they have to start a podcast, No one wanted to hear from Michelle Obama, but she went and started a podcast anyways. Like, no one asked. No one said, oh, man, you know what I really want to hear what Michelle Obama's saying. I wonder what she's thinking about all this. No one ever said that. Obama has one. She has one. Or Pee-wee has one. We don't need new podcasts. We need people who are like Jasmine Crockett to go back to begging the government for EBT stamps. That's all. We do not need Jasmine Crockett making YouTube videos. So like the podcast market is saturated, on the left especially. Anderson Cooper is going to have a podcast. That one guy that got kicked out, Jim Cooper, he has one. Like, when are these people going to learn? Like, you're not that interesting. Your words, your opinions are really not that interesting to us. Crockett thinks everybody cares about her opinion. Unfortunately, she does have fans. She has like a group of like deranged liberal black women. That's right, those ones that think she's like the second coming of Jesus, She is dumb. She has not achieved anything in Congress because I understand the need to have a bombastic, gonna go at it member of Congress who is gonna scream and, verbally fight for the causes that their constituents care for. Totally understand that. But someone like Jasmine Crockett doesn't really know how to articulate herself. Like when Matt Gaetz was in Congress, he was known as being bombastic and, he'd speak his mind. But he was never, just loud, obnoxious. He could articulate his vision in 3 minutes. You could understand. Jasmine Crockett just screams. That there's a difference. And so I guess those black women interpret that as, wow, Harriet Tubman. Like that's the problem with her. So people do care what she's saying. They just don't, care to analyze if she's saying anything reasonable or not. I want a congressperson who can articulate a vision, who can scream, and can also legislate, because that is their job. I'm sure there have been plenty of opportunities for her to partner with Republicans to get things passed. But she has an obnoxious attitude, and her colleagues wouldn't trust her. Like, why would you want to be around her? You know what she is. She's going to tarnish your reputation. So she's just, people like Jasmine Crockett ruin Congress. Oh, Salty Ginger says, did you notice that the last few Crockett interactions with media, she wasn't talking with her fake ghetto accent? Really? She doesn't have the intellect. No, she doesn't. She doesn't have the intellect. What was like a Republican version of Jasmine Crockett? You know, someone who just screamed, didn't really get that much done. Of course, you guys are going to probably say, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Well, she did get some things done. Can't think of a Republican equivalent of just a ghetto congresswoman or man who everybody hated, never got anything done, because that person was just volatile. Like they couldn't be trusted with anything. You know, they were useless. I mean, most Democrats are useless, but you know, I've never seen Chuck Schumer. What y'all doing to, like, you know, smacking his lips while he's eating, like doing all that. Never seen that from Chuck Schumer. Nancy Pelosi would never do that, you know? Nancy's just busy doing her insider trading. She's not that ghetto. And I think Pelosi is very high IQ. She knows what she's doing. She's smart. That's why she's rich. If Jasmine Crockett just went to Congress, shut her mouth, voted, and traded stocks to make millions, I'd respect it. I'd be like, you know what? Kind of respect. I guess Ilhan Omar's the other one. But Ilhan's a little bit better than Jasmine Crockett, because at least Ilhan is pushing insider trading info to her husband or brother, whoever the husband of the day is, and she's making millions. She's profiting. At least Ilhan is like pushing legislation that funds Somali daycares in Minnesota. At least Ilhan is like getting her people fraud money. Jasmine Crockett just screams and accomplishes nothing. She's drunk, true. John McCain, Mitch McConnell was, Mitch won't, like, he's screwing us up, right, in his last years. But Mitch McConnell, a real gangster, okay? This guy came into the Senate, Obama was president, and he said, I'm not giving you a Supreme Court pick. I'm not letting Merrick Garland walk into the Supreme Court. We're waiting this out. We're waiting to the election. I thought that was a gangster move from Mitch McConnell back in the day. And that got us Neil Gorsuch. Look, Mitch might be a warmonger. Mitch might have done all the worst things ever. But childhood me remembers when Obama wanted his Supreme Court pick and Mitch was like, nah. He was like a gangster with it. He was like, nah. And guess what? After the death of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, the election was coming up, remember? And Mitch was like, I changed my strategy. We're going to speed run this time. So while Obama was about to leave and there was a Supreme Court vacancy, Mitch said no one touches that seat. And then, while Trump was about to leave and there was a Supreme Court vacancy, Mitch said, we're touching that seat. And now we have a 6-3 majority. I think Mitch McConnell, in my opinion, one of the geniuses of the Senate. That's called compartmentalizing. You know, I can like what he did there, but, you know, he's still a crook. So Mitch is a real gangster for that. Like, I remember, wow, you know, late 2016, the way he was moving. He was just like ruthless. It's back when his brain functioned, you know? And now Roe v. Wade is gone and less children are murdered as a result. So that's good. The Supreme Court overturned the Chevron deference doctrine. And now there's more freedom for businesses in the country and less regulations and a more powerful executive despite their ruling on tariffs. Mitch did his thing, you know? Mitch did his thing. Kentucky is rhino country. Mitch McConnell, Rand Paul, and Massey. I don't think Massey and Rand Paul fit that same definition as Mitch McConnell. Massey and Rand Paul are just too stupid to govern most of the times. Like when they're saying, we need to cut down the federal spending, the deficit's too high, we need to cut this, I agree. But then they'll vote with the Democrats because the Democrats don't like the Republican spending package. So they give their votes to the Democrats, which gives them no leverage within their own party. It's perplexing. But I'd say they're like impractical hindrances to governance. That's it. They're impractical hindrances. They're just obstacles rather than like election integrity, you know. They'll vote for that. But, you know, they won't vote for any spending bill that reduces spending slightly but not like, you know, massively. I'd say the true rhinos are guys like I think Texas has the best delegation in Congress, but the true rhinos are guys like Dan Crenshaw, who, you know, get voted in office, they have all these sweet campaign promises, and then they go in and they're voting with Joe Biden half the time. Like that's my definition of like, you know, a betrayer. Barrett, Gorsuch, and Kavanaugh fence it some. No, not Gorsuch. Gorsuch, apart from tariffs, is usually spot on. Amy Coney Barrett is a liberal. She's a feminist, but you know, she's like the typical conservative female in her 50s. You know, she's a liberal in many ways. You know, she grew up in an era, you know, where women were told to be boss babes. So now she thinks it's her job to go to Congress and tell Trump what to do. Or not Congress, the Supreme Court, and tell her boss what to do. I just don't get it, you know? I believe in pure loyalty. If Trump appointed me to anything, whatever he tells me to do, I'm doing. Because I don't believe in autonomy. I believe in a pure dictatorship and individual judgment. No, whatever the president that put me in this position wants, that's what I'll do. But I do get it. I get why. But, you know, she doesn't do it in, like, reasonable moments. You know? She doesn't rule against Trump reasonably. She just does it, I feel like, out of spite. Like, like I'm going to show him that he doesn't control me. It's like, what are you doing? Like, vote with Trump. Like, that's what I feel like she's doing. I'll show him that he doesn't control me, even though he appointed me to this position. What are you doing? If Trump put me in the Supreme Court, I'm pulling up with Clarence Thomas. I'm copying his notes. I'm taking his homework. I'm letting Clarence Thomas write all the opinions, and I'm just, yeah, actually, that's what I was going to write. George, write the majority opinion. I'm going to Clarence Thomas's house. Hey, man, look, they told me to write this majority opinion, but I'm just saying, like, I don't know what I'm doing. Just, you know, hey, can you help me with this first line, second line, third line? He's writing the whole thing without realizing it. It's so easy to be a Supreme Court justice. What would Clarence Thomas do? That's the question you have to ask. How would Clarence Thomas rule on? How would Samuel Alito rule on this? What would he say about this? That's all you have to do. It's never been easier to be a Supreme Court justice. It's never been easier to be a world leader. Look at Emmanuel Macron and Keir Starmer, these women running the European Union, and Europe, these chicks with ovaries, like no testosterone, no aggression. If I was Macron and I was running La République de France, you know what I would do? I would just copy notes. What is Trump doing for his people? All right, let's just change Americans to French. Okay. So whatever Trump does for Americans, I will do for the French. Like Macron doesn't think like that. The Australian leader, he doesn't just copy Trump's notes. Oh, Trump, wow, Trump just put tariffs on China. Boom, me too. Just do what he's doing. It's so easy. Just copy his notes, copy his answers. But no, we are Europe. We need to be independent. Okay, bro. If you get nuked tomorrow, who's coming to save you? Is Europe really that united? If France got attacked, who are they calling? They're not calling their next door neighbors. Hey, Spain, hey man, we got hit. Hey, Portugal, we got hit. Hey, Germany, pull up, man, we need you. No, they're calling Uncle Sam, because Uncle Sam probably has 50 other bases. Come on. So just do what Uncle Sam does. Don't complicate government. Okay, just copy Uncle Sam. So easy. If I'm a member of Congress, there aren't really that many good examples in Congress. But Congress is so I can't stand when Trump blows up a foreign country. And instead, I totally understand why someone would be like, we shouldn't blow them up. I get that point. So when these members of Congress say, we shouldn't blow them up, okay, you could say that. That's criticism. You are giving your opinion, you are criticizing. But the moment they say, he didn't even ask for congressional approval. Congressional approval. That's why you think it's wrong. He didn't call Ilhan Omar, yo Ilhan, you think I should blow up Iran? He didn't ask AOC for permission to take Maduro. Imagine Trump calling Ilhan Omar, AOC, Rashida Tlaib. Hello AOC, Ilhan, how are you? How many billions and billions have you stolen today? Can I take Maduro, pretty please? Imagine that. The president calling these bimbos, asking for permission. Nah, man. That's a wicked system. So the Congress of old decided that the president could act unilaterally if he had a pretext. So we're always attacking before they attack us. We've been prosecuting wars for 80 years without needing a declaration from Congress. Because Congress back then realized Congress is slow, which was true. Congress has always been slow. We don't need Ilhan's permission to bomb Somalia. Come on. Because you know what Congress would be voting on? They would say, okay, resolution to bomb Somalia. Half the Republicans would be like, yes. Half the Democrats, yes. Because same donors, Lockheed Martin, Boeing, understandable. The other half would be like, no, we shouldn't bomb Somalia because they're a sovereign country and we can't invade their airspace. We need an amendment to the resolution, please, that says, okay, we need to seek permission from the No, just blow them up, man. Take their oil if they have any. What are you doing? How are we supposed to have oil if we can't just take it? Oh, the oil belongs to who? If you don't have guns to protect it, I'm sorry, it's our oil now. Venezuela, our oil. Your oil, my choice, our choice. This is the problem with asking Congress for permission. They are slow. It's like a super bureaucratic process, the worst you've ever seen. They get nothing done. So no, don't ask Congress for permission. Criticize things on merit. Should we blow up Iran? Should we blow up Venezuela? Should we blow up, I don't know, Cuba next? Should we blow up? Should we do it? Maybe we should. Maybe we shouldn't. Like, do all that. But don't you dare say it's bad because Congress has been funding Somalis for like 10 years straight. Like, all the Somali daycares is money Congress appropriated. Congress is the reason we can't have voter ID in elections nationally. They're the reason we have illegals on the voter rolls, because Congress won't act. Congress is why we are 39 or almost 40 trillion in debt. It's Congress. It's their fault. They wrote all the bills. Continuing resolution. Okay, continue to spend money. That's what you should call it. Resolution to continue. To continue what? Okay. Insane deficit spending. Congress is why we can't have nice things. Congress is why the administrative state grew absolutely out of nowhere. Because Congress refused to regulate when necessary. And so they just ceded the authority to these agencies. Nah, man, screw Congress. Why is the UK always called the colonizers? Spain was pretty hyperactive back in the day as well. Well, I think the UK, the British colonization was the greatest thing that ever happened to the world. And the reason is as follows. The Brits went places and said, where's the cigar? Or that thing they used to smoke. The weird bagpipe thing. What is it called? Bagpipe? Is that what it's called? I don't know. They with their teeth that need a dentist. It's not civilized. Let's bring civilization to Zimbabwe. They take it and they civilize it. That's what the British did. And now they can be our equals. That's what the British thought, you know. British colonization was like, we can work with them. Like, you know, let's work together and build together. The Spanish were like, you guys are inferior. They pulled up to Mexico and it was like midgets. Those Mayans, like 5'2" midgets. And they were like, no good, no bueno, no good. And you know what they did? They banged all the women, changed the genetic makeup, what women were, makeup. Yeah, the genetic pool of those people created an entirely different group of people, mestizos, mulattoes. They took all the blacks from Haiti and said, we're impregnating all of you, and created the Dominican Republic. And so now, if you're a Mexican hating on Spain, you're hating your own people. Like, low-key just a little bit better than what the British did. Because the British were like, wow, they'll like us because we partner with them, share our technologies. But no, it doesn't work. The French thought the same thing. You know, they'll like us. The Spanish, Portuguese, they went in and said they're never going to like us unless they look like us, unless they have our DNA in them. So that's why Brazil looks the way it does. You know? The British, they just, look, the Spanish were like, you guys aren't as superior as us, so you're all going to have our babies. And then the children you have, you can't hate us, can't hate your child's dad, you know? You can't hate him forever. Your child can't hate his ancestry. He's Spanish now. That's what they did. They did that in the Spanish. They did that everywhere they went, the Portuguese as well. But the British and the French, they had this view that, you know, their colonized subjects wouldn't hate them if they just partnered. And now look, you know, when people think of colonization, they think of the British Empire, even though Spain arguably had the same level of territorial control across the world. It's just one of those things. It's one of those things. That's why they talk about British colonization. But objectively speaking, British colonization was the greatest because it brought language, you know. The Spanish, yeah, but we don't speak Spanish, so I don't care if Spain brought language too. It's like, come on, you know. And the mestizos have to defend Papa. Yeah, they have to. Most Mexicans, most Latin Americans are, I don't know, 30% at least. Argentina's basically Italy, you know? Italy, Germany, all these countries put together, and they all speak Spanish. So that is kind of how that works. In India, they still use the British buildings, oh gosh, to poop in. Oh gosh. India. I blame white people for India being what it is. Because as far as I understand, Indians started worshiping cows because some like nomadic Caucasian group showed up and had a reverence for cows or something. Because, you know, it was an industry. And then the Indians were like, oh my gosh, these cows are awesome. Started bowing to them like, I don't know, maybe that's how that went. New England is getting invaded. Well, Old England is getting invaded, so I guess New England is taking after Old England. When are British people just gonna have enough of that and be like, all right? Because it's a little bit different for the United States, you know? It's a little bit different. Because this country technically wasn't founded on a singular ethnicity, right? The white Anglo-Saxon Protestants that settled Jamestown were the first ethnicity, and then other ones showed up. They just started showing up, you know? Started creating different settlements. New Amsterdam, now New York. These different people, the Germans, the Scandinavians, like everyone started showing up. So by 1776, you know, yeah, the majority of founders would have been, you know, of British descent, but you also had Dutch ones. You had ones from Spain, I'm sure. You had ones from different areas, so different areas of Europe. So, you know, it wasn't like how Germany is, where Germans lived, or Poland is, where Poles live. It was like a place where multiple ethnicities lived. And so it wasn't founded on an ethnicity, so it had to be founded on something else, principles. We all agree that all men are created equal. Okay, that's how we're going to unite. We agree on the same system of government, the same laws, the same rights for everybody. Okay, cool. And then over time, more people came in. And even today, it's still easier for the United States, even though we technically have more than anywhere else. It's just different because, you know, I shouldn't say it's like a blob of people, but it kind of is. Like everyone just kind of fits somewhere. And the moral center is like Christianity. And everyone tries to fit in. Now, the new problem is you got Muslims, Hindus, and they're doing different things. And now there's like enclaves getting created. But in Europe, the English was for the Anglo-Saxons, or England was for the Anglo-Saxons. Scotland was for the Scottish. Ireland was for the Irish. But now Ireland has Bangladeshis in there. And the Irish are like, hold on a second, what is this arrangement? The Irish have owned Ireland for thousands of years. And now this guy from Mumbai is Irish, so that's confusing for them. That's why. That's why I'm like, hey, Europe, man, lock in. Like, when are you guys going to get serious? They harbor redcoats. Dan Crenshaw was our Jasmine Crockett. Even Crenshaw couldn't have been that bad. Wow. I'm Hispanic, not Mexican. Are you, okay, I guess Mexican's the nationality. Okay. Whatever happened with the boat from Florida caught off Cuba? Okay. What's happening with that? Marco Rubio said there's an investigation to get to the bottom of it. I don't know. I'm not sure if that happened that way. I don't think, I'm not sure they were Americans. I think it was like, I don't know, maybe Cubans that just happened to be on a Florida speed. I'm not sure yet. I haven't gotten to that conclusion. But the fact that we're still negotiating with the Cuban regime tells me it might not be what we thought, which was like an act of war. Oh, man. I thought I was going to be sick. Someone said, what's happening? Okay, so we have people joining way later. Yeah, so earlier we talked about President Trump basically using the Iran situation to take over the global maritime insurance industry. Whatever happened, okay, answered that already. Still don't trust Rubio to be our president. I'm actually kind of curious. I'm starting to think Marco Rubio is going to be the Republican nominee. Because I don't know. It seems like that's kind of where things are going. I don't know if anyone else is getting that inclination. Of course, J.D. Vance is the vice president, so it's absolutely reasonable to think of it that way. But like, I want every person in the chat to type who they think is going to be the nominee between Rubio and Vance. It's really only those two. I don't want to see no one else. Am I still trying to sell that 5'2"? Wait, guys, I'm 5'2". What are you guys talking about? I'm 5'2". Come on. What? You think I'm lying? I'm 5 foot? Come on, guys. I'm 5'2". 5'2 and a half. Give me the half. Okay. I see a lot of Rubios in Vance, but probably like a 60-40. 60% Vance. Oh, it's a lot higher than 60. Okay. We fight other countries' wars while the largest invasion in world history happened here. This is true. Vance, Rubio. Okay, I'd say it's like a, 60-40. 60% Vance, 40% Rubio. But now it's looking a lot like 50-50. Someone said Trump, Rubio. Trump's not running for fourth term. Third term. It's not happening. He does that to troll and to kind of take attention away from, Rubio or Vance, just take, because, if the Democrats know that this is the heir apparent, then, they're going to go at that person times 10. It's like throw the Democrats off, get them angry about Trump, and just, while quietly building serious firepower for Vance or Rubio. George, is Kuwait paying us for the jets they shot down? Yeah. So 3 F-15s or F-15Es or whichever variant got shot down. And it was done by Kuwait. Like one guy. I think it was one guy. I think they said it was like one Kuwait fighter pilot. and they said it was friendly fire. I don't know, man. I don't know if I believe that. Because how do you shoot down, like, would it be Iranian jets in Kuwaiti airspace? Because I don't imagine Iran's jets could go that far. Like, I don't think Iran, would go into any other country's airspace without getting detected by U.S. radar and those countries' radar. So Iran hasn't used any of the, I don't know, maybe 5 jets they own. I don't know how many jets they have. But I don't really buy that story. I don't know how you shoot down. Like, I assume these pilots, their communications aren't siloed. So they have to talk to air defense from the country's airspace they're in. So if they're in Kuwait's airspace. Also, Kuwait is a vassal state of the United States. It's like another one of our, a country we gained independence for, and now we own and control technically. Not technically, like indirectly own and control. So how come they don't know we're there? And I don't know. I just don't see how that's a mistake. I don't see how that can be a mistake. Someone says 6'1". I've seen pictures. George, you need to pick up where Charlie left off and do the college campuses. Who told you I have the kind of patience to debate dorks that Charlie Kirk did? No, I'm a very argumentative person, and I get impatient, and I don't know how to listen to someone who is wrong. Like, if they're wrong about simple facts, I get irritated. And you think I can... No. Charlie Kirk did something truly transformational. His legacy will live on. Yeah, I don't think there's a person that has the patience to... Because you have to have grace. I will start insulting people. I'm bombastic, Look at these live streams. They're chaotic. They're all over I don't want to be in a debate having to listen to a college student who's never done anything in their life of significance. And we argue about capitalism versus socialism. I'm just going to insult you if you think socialism has worked. I'm not going to debate. I'm going to insult you. That's the difference. But I'm not even going to swear. I don't swear in real life. I don't swear. I will just call you dumb. And the R word, that's all I'll say about it. I don't know if I can sit there and be like, you know what, Dean? What was your rebuttal to that? Let me listen to what you have to say. That's hard. It's hard to listen. It's hard. So Charlie did something that no one else, I think, can do. Speaking to college students for that long must have been exhausting, and he did it anyway. George, who do you think is responsible for Charlie's death? I certainly don't think Egyptian planes and trapdoors. I know there's the skepticism coming out of the official suspect, Tyler Robinson. I tend to believe that he did that. It makes perfect sense. Deranged Reddit kid who thought he was taking out Hitler because that's who the media portrayed Charlie Kirk as. I think, he's facing the death penalty. The judge has allowed the prosecutors to pursue that, and the burden of proof is on the prosecution. So we don't have to guess who did it. We can wait for the legal system to go through and accomplish what it needs to accomplish. I'm not, people on the internet who spent months saying everyone else but that kid did it. People said Israel, Netanyahu, who was close with, knew Charlie Kirk, apparently did it. Apparently. That's what the Jews talk about when they say low IQ anti-Semitism. Because what do you mean? Charlie Kirk, up until the day he died, was a Zionist. And you mean to tell me you think Israel killed them? Oh my gosh. So there's people that say that, and they were wrong. Candace Owens said Egyptian military planes landed in Utah at, I think she said 9 a.m. Utah Standard Time, which is not a real time. It was Universal Standard Time, as far as I understand. So it wasn't, and it wasn't any trap doors. There was no laser from outer space. It was very obvious that Charlie Kirk's team did not use surveillance drones to identify the various vulnerabilities, like a roof directly in front, because nothing like that, was thought to be a possibility. So they thought it was just a normal day at a campus, and that happened. And now half the internet, you go on TikTok, and it's like people on the left, right, middle, constantly attacking Erica Kirk. Like, first of all, they were mad that she grieved her husband. And then now they're mad that she's not constantly crying every second. I don't understand these people, man. I don't understand. I refuse to get it. I refuse to go down that. People are saying I'm 6'2". If Candace Owens is grieving, like Humble Pie says there, this is the worst kind of grieving ever. Like, if you're grieving your friend and, like, you're doing a series on his wife, what kind of friend is that? I don't know. But her entire channel is undeniably just about Charlie Kirk. And what happens when there is, or if there is, a conviction of Tyler Robinson? Does she say, you know what, the feds are right? I get it. We're skeptical of the FBI. I get it. They lie all the time. Sure. And it's an institutional problem. And it can't be fixed just by politics. You need to, like, do way more, and it takes a long time for federal and state or local law enforcement of any kind to gain credibility. Totally understand that. But, like, some things just make sense. What do I think about what Megyn Kelly said about the fallen soldiers? I don't watch Megyn Kelly, so I don't know what she said. Did she say anything? Well, I guess I'd have to watch the video. Oh my gosh, George's height is what the axis of the world spins on. Everyone knows that. Guys, I'm a midget. I'm a midget. Like, are you guys trying to get me to cope about the height? I'm 5'2.5". Give me the half. I'm not 5 foot. I'm 5'2.5". Okay. Um. 5'5". Oh gosh. What about the old lady still missing? Nancy Guthrie, right? I have not. At first, I was confused. I'm like, is this just some random lady that got caught up, and now she's on my feed every 2 seconds? But then, no, it turns out her daughter, Savannah Guthrie, that's who her mother is. So I was, okay, that's why she's all over the news. They haven't found her? Come on, man. Hey, they haven't found her? Like, how hard is it to find her? We can find the Ayatollah on his bed in Tehran, we could find this lady, man. We could find her. Come on, like Palantir hasn't had like some. They haven't created some software that can just like. I don't know, man. How is this still a thing? And they're demanding Bitcoin. And there was a storyline that her daughter's husband, might have been the person to feed the kidnappers information. No sign of Nancy Guthrie. I really hope she's alive. But it is crazy what we're hearing. I don't know, I just feel like these things were like what you'd watch on the Lifetime channel. I remember, oh man, I used to watch the Lifetime channel. Was it Lifetime? Hold on, if I see their logo, I'll know. Channel. No, I don't think it was Lifetime, but it was like they did a lot of like murder things. Like this kid went missing 50 years ago, like that sort of thing. Like these mysteries. Man, I used to get so scared. Like oh man, like those kinds. I think it was Lifetime. Be like some girl goes back. I don't know if they were. I thought they were real when I was a child. I thought, man, that's real. Like she'd go back to her hometown, and like her childhood best friend is like a bad guy now, and he like kidnaps her. They go to the woods. Like that's kind of Hallmark. No, it wasn't Hallmark. Hallmark does the family friendly stuff. Yeah. No, IE. Yes. IE. Yes. Yes. IE. IE. Yes. Yes. That was one of the channels. I don't think it was just one. I think IE was. Those scared me, man. I could not go to sleep because I just imagine, getting kidnapped, but no one was trying to kidnap me, man. What am I? I'm not going to be useful to a kidnapper, Oh, the police channel too. The cop chases. In the middle of the night, they follow the cops around. Were those real? Because they had some weird encounters with people. George being serious, and we're debating his height in chat. This is what I was talking about yesterday. Feels like you people. That's how I'm going to address you. You people. You guys are distracted. The guys in the chat are so distracted, man. It hurts my brain. One guy says, George, how tall are you? I correctly say, I'm 5'2", I'm a midget. And now, I'm a leprechaun. What's wrong with being a leprechaun? And now it's like a national topic. Lifetime did tons of movies about crimes. Yeah, those movies scared me. Every movie. Oh man, that's why I don't want to live in the woods. I don't want to live in the woods. I like the city for that reason. I think that was programming. It made me hate nature. I thought the woods was where you go and you don't come out. So now I perceive the forest, the wildlife, the wilderness as a place to ignore, to avoid. Yeah, when did being a midget become a crime? Make George tall again. Yeah, make George tall again. Not that I ever was, but yeah, I'm a midget. Show us the pic of you and Charlie Kirk. Well, it is on the channel. No, but in that I was wearing heels, and you could. Well, I tried to I was wearing, let me show you the shoes I wore. This is how you know look, I'm a midget. I'm telling you guys, man. You guys are, look at the, man, that's like 4 inches. So, I don't know what the denialism is on this channel. Like, I say something and no one wants to agree that I'm a midget. There was one where a young girl was kept underground but gained his trust and got hold of his phone. Yeah, those movies aren't real. That's how white women have a false sense of security when, like, they'll walk around the hood like there aren't bad people out there because some movie was like, if he grabs you, turn his arm around, and then like, don't take. I'm not sending. If I have a daughter, she's not taking self-defense classes. She's taking classes on neighborhoods and streets to avoid. Okay. Oh, take his arm. Like, what do you mean? Oh, you got kidnapped. Then you gained his trust and took his phone. That's fake. Not real. That's what the movies are doing to people. It's like, take his arm, twist it, and then. Nah, I live in pure paranoia. Okay? No one is to be trusted, especially if you look like you're not to be trusted, you know? If you look like you got 4 felonies on you, if you speak Ebonics and you're 50 years old, you know? I don't know, man. You might do something, you know? I clutch my my wallet, like, just hold it a little bit tighter. Walk across the street to ensure safety. No, I don't do that. I don't go outside the house, so it helps. No, the story was true. That can't be real. Girl gains guy's trust and takes his phone, kidnap. Nah, it's not true. That's not real. It didn't automatically populate. Yeah. You know, men understand security, right? Men understand threats. That's the male brain. Identify threats. Women, they go jogging in like the hood. It's like, what are you doing? Like, you women need to lock in, understand the world is dangerous. And then when the husband's like, hey, honey, I don't think you should go that direction. You're so controlling. Yeah, okay. Yeah, great. Here you go, in the hood, where all the Tyrones are, in the middle of the day, sitting on the block, no jobs, because they hate jobs, you know? They hate jobs. And you're running, because it's, oh man, I just don't get it, you know? Do I have siblings? Yes. I have a lot of siblings. You know, my parents got busy, okay? 5. And I'm the last one, so that's why I run my mouth the way I do. Because, you know, look, my brothers are going to come after you, you know? It's going to be like, we're going to jump you. No, everyone in my family is a law-abiding citizen. What if we like the Tyrones? Is that a woman saying that? Mods, timer out. You shouldn't like anyone in O Block, Chicago, surnamed Tyrone. No, surname's the last name. Forenamed Tyrone. You shouldn't. I think that's how you get caught up. Run for Congress. I'm not running for Congress. Guys, What is this upset? What do you think I'm gonna do? Like, I'm gonna register to run for Congress, right? I'm gonna launch a campaign. With what money? Oh yeah. And then when all the women are like, you don't have any women in your life. We can't vote for you. What am I supposed to do? Buy a wife? What do I do to appeal to half of the? You don't have a wife. I can't vote for you. You don't know what it's like. You don't understand like how women are, their experience. We're not gonna vote. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna go to China, go to that. I'm gonna go to Amsterdam's red district, and I'm gonna pay a girlfriend. I'm gonna pay a wife. I'm gonna be like, yes, I have one now. So now I get the female vote. What do you guys think this through? Run for Congress? Yeah, George. You're in your early 20s. Do nothing else. Run for Congress. And place fifth, because no one knows you in the city, in the district. Place fifth, because your opponent is probably funded by some of the most powerful companies in the country. You know? Just run. Come on, guys. That's not how that works. Just don't let her vote. Okay, well, keep going to the gym. I haven't been to the gym. I'll be honest, man. I'm getting fat. No, I'm actually losing weight. Because I haven't been to the gym in like 3 months. You know what's keeping me afloat is like the melanin genes, you know? The fast twitch, power, muscles. The genetics are keeping me up there. I should have a gut, but we're still straight, baby. Crenshaw lost. Hallelujah. Amazing stuff. Don't underestimate the people. I will underestimate the people. The people will put me in fifth position. Okay, that's what's going to happen. Start with a city council, and then that's how it starts. Next thing you know, did Trump have to? Okay, nobody told Trump run for city council. Trump became a billionaire. Then he got bored at 70. He was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to run. See? How about that? Like, how about George, become a competent person, contribute to society, build your businesses as you are doing, and then one day, if God says do it, run. Maybe that's like a better plan. I can't run for Congress. Like, what am I doing? Go to DC and waste my prime years, my physical prime, getting hassled by reporters because I said something. Because I went and told them the 2035 election was rigged. No, let's not do that. Let's not go to 2036 and we're still doing like election fraud. Let's do voter ID by then, please. Okay? George Crockett. Okay, you guys are crazy. Trump forces others to proper action by his forward-thinking maneuvers. Yeah, look at France. France isn't surrendering for once. They're apparently bolstering their defense, which is all Trump has wanted. I think people have the impression that Trump is like a hawk. He can be a hawk about peace, like he is in Ukraine. He's like calling Zelensky names, like get the job done, insulting him, saying he's disappointed in Putin because they're not ending the war. But he's a hawk if it comes to drug boats and, dictators. It's like his thing to take them out now, right? So his bulldozer mentality to get the long-standing objectives of the U.S. foreign policy apparatus is working. Eventually, the goal is to get out of the Middle East. I don't think Trump wants to stay there. I think he wants to get out. hand security over to the Gulf partners, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Israel, and Turkey to a certain extent, and then leave. And then he wants to focus on the Indo-Pacific, where increasing global trade is happening, and also in the Western Hemisphere. So Europe is still there, but if you read the Trump administration's national security priorities, it aligns with everything. On the Middle East, they said this is going to become an increasingly less important region, while the Western Hemisphere becomes more important. And the Indo-Pacific is the second most important, because we need to counter China. We need to keep the shipping lanes free, because if China becomes the police force in those waters, they start to impose tolls. That's billions of dollars. So why are the Starship Enterprises and toilet paper this? Okay, this is what I mean by you guys are distracted. You know, I finish the point, then I look at the chat. Someone's talking about toilet paper. Like, this channel, man. Wow. You can be the next Gutfeld on Fox. Okay, yeah, let me go apply to Fox News. And then Rupert Murdoch is going to look at the channel. He's going to be like, I agree with that one comment that said that. And then they're going to fire Gutfeld, right? The guy getting like the most views. And then I can just like replace him while he pisses off to vacation with Jessica Tarloff. Let's do that. Someone said again last night, again. Look, it's just that it keeps happening. This is going to be a longer stream, so if you guys have to go somewhere, I will be, yapping on for a little bit. What questions need to be answered politically? Because there are things I want to talk about. Also, I need to feed the Facebook people. We have a Facebook now, and it's growing. Okay, it's growing. I don't run it. Some high IQ nerd picks out the clips and they post them. So we need to feed the Facebook. That's why we're here. Okay, this is the problem. Now I'm asking, hey, are there any things you guys want to talk about? And someone's talking about the leprechaun comments. No, I mean serious political stuff. Jenny has work tomorrow. Everyone wish Jenny a great work day tomorrow. Where's Lou Valentino? Is Lou Valentino in here? Ooh, Lou Valentino is in here. Lou, hit the like button, man. I know you hate supporting the channel. You never hit the like. Hype the video up, man. Lou, hype the video up. Do I agree on a mohawk? Okay, this is the problem. We're now doing that thing. Lou just posted a video on Jasmine Crockett. Lou, how's that video doing? I love Jasmine Crockett losing. This is so amazing. This is amazing. Jasmine Crockett losing is the greatest news this country has gotten in a long time. It's a rejection of ghetto politics, Ebonics politics, Ebonitics. Come on, y'all. Vote for me, y'all. Look, we're good. We're not voting for James Tallarico. I'm saying we're like voting for people who aren't you. James Tallarico needs to be defeated. That guy's like, I wish Jasmine Crockett won because she's easier to beat because she's just a lunatic. James Tallarico is truly dangerous. That guy talks and it sounds good, It's like a fox in a hen house, He, what's the That's the Bible. Wolf in sheep's clothing. That's the Bible reference I would use for him. He is a wolf in sheep's clothing. He's like, he says he's a pastor, but if you look at who he follows on social media, it's like OnlyFans models, sex workers. He follows them. This guy's a perv, but he's running, and yeah, Republicans need to make sure he gets nowhere near. He's like Beto O'Rourke, but worse. Tallarico did win, yes, in the Democrat primary. So he will face one of Paxton or John Cornyn. Cornyn and Paxton are headed to a runoff. I think Trump should do an endorsement in that race. Paxton will absorb the votes from Wesley Hunt's votes. Wesley Hunt, man, wow, he got third place, distant third. So hopefully that's how that works. What do you think should be the next, or who do I think should be the next governor of Arizona? Well, it's Andy Biggs. Andy Biggs is the only option at this point because he has been a consistent fighter in Congress. And yeah, I think Andy Biggs would be amazing. Guys, I'm thinking of moving out of Colorado, but every time I try to think about it, make it come to reality, I don't like anywhere else. It's like a love-hate relationship with this communist state. Where should I move to? This is a critical question. Don't give me no small towns in Texas just because you're there. What are we going to do? Oh, yeah, let me move to, I don't know, McAllen, Texas, because some random person in the chat. No, seriously, actually, give me some real advice. Okay, people are just going to say the states they're closest to. Melissa, where are you from? Florida. Where should I move? Florida. Okay, well, Florida is probably not for me. I don't know about all that humidity. I've never liked that kind of humidity. So, okay, this is someone said Seattle. Okay, you guys aren't serious. You're not serious. Seattle. Oh yeah, let me go be in the middle of all these ICE protests. But yeah, let me go to Seattle where their mayor's worse than Zoran Mamdani. Let me go to Portland. Screw Seattle. Let's just go to Portland. Oh, Minnesota. Okay. Again, you're just saying where you're at. You're just saying where you're at. I don't understand. You're not even thinking about what's good for me. You're just saying Tennessee is interesting, but Arizona, I die half the year. It's 130 degrees. I don't know about all that. I don't know. New Mexico, yeah. Go to New Mexico, George. Wow, just Albuquerque, man, Santa Fe. Just go to New Mexico and live there. Oh my gosh. Oh, I should never have asked. Wow, you guys are going to lead me to New Mexico. George, move to Arkansas. Okay, well, what am I going to do in Arkansas? Go to Walmart, because that's their headquarters. Yeah, Walmart. What else? What do people do in Arkansas? Okay. Vote for the Huckabee family, right? The 50th Huckabee to run for governor. Mike Huckabee, Sarah Huckabee, just Huckabees. And then where else? Where else are people saying? Boise, Idaho. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Not a bad place. That's not the worst option, but isn't Boise 5 people? No, it's probably like 300,000 people. Yeah, I don't know if I can do that. I need like 1 million liberals to live around me, you know? I like the liberal aesthetic of a city, but not the liberals themselves. Like, I want a city that's walkable, but I don't want the people that vote for that kind of thing. I want the policies. That's what liberals do when they move to red states. It's like I want to raise my family in a safe neighborhood, but I don't want to vote for the kind of people that do that. I don't want to vote for Ken Paxton to enforce the law. I want to vote for like some black guy so Texas can have the first black attorney general. Like, maybe I'm a hypocrite in that way. I want to live in a blue metropolitan area that's walkable with public parks, but I don't want to live around liberals that vote for that thing. Like people that think, oh, we need public transport, but I do want a city that's like, that's it. That is actually how that works. Salt Lake City. Okay, yeah. Let me go out there with the Mormons. We'll go on Mormon mission trips and teach. Yeah, let's go to Utah. Doesn't feel like a real place. There's a place in the country, and it's all like Mormons. And the black people are Mormon. What is that about? Yeah, Burgess Owens in Congress. That guy's a Mormon, and he's black. I thought Mormons thought like black people. I don't know. It said it. Their book said it, not me. Their books were saying other things than this, but I'm not moving to Salt Lake City. Oh man. I need to go to a place. Don't say Vegas. Someone said Vegas? No. Phoenix. Yeah. Go live near Ben Carson. Greenland. Okay, you guys have given up. You're not even suggesting real places anymore. Go to Canuck or whatever Nuuk, Greenland. Go there, George. You're gonna love it. Prescott. Again, you're just saying, yeah, hey, Big Chaz, you're just saying where you're at. You're not thinking of the betterment of my life. Okay, what do I do in Prescott, Arizona? Okay. Prescott, Arizona. Okay, so it's like Scottsdale or Phoenix. Oh, damn, that's a good picture. It's beautiful stuff. Scottsdale. Hey, look at this. What? How does that happen? Okay, that's nice. Wow, I get to look at these rocks every morning when I wake up. Arizona does have elite landscape. It is really just nice. Okay. Montana. You guys are just saying places you're at. This is not fair. Go to George, move to Billings. Okay. What do you do in Billings? Yeah, we look at the refineries off the road. That's our skyline. Okay. What about like parks? We don't have parks. The whole place is a park. Everywhere you go is a park. You stop by the side of the road and they think you're about to go hunting because everywhere is like hunting grounds. All right. Yeah, let's go to, let me just go to Helena, Montana and go live. Screw Montana. Let's go to Bismarck, North Dakota and live there. I told you guys, I want the aesthetics of a blue metropolitan area without living in one. Is there a red state with a blue city that is run by well, not a blue city run by a city that's massive but run by Republicans? That's the question. Move to Alabama. Okay. Come on, George. Move to Alabama, man. Move to Alabama, man. Montgomery. Just come live in Montgomery, Alabama. Birmingham, Alabama. Come on, George. Okay. Look, I love people in the South. I love people in the South, but I think I want a place with like mean people. Think mean people. You know, people that I don't think I've ever heard I've never heard someone in the South say retarded. I've just never heard it. I've never heard, I've never heard it. You know, the worst thing the South has ever said was, hey boy, that's it. And then slavery ended, they gave it up. Now the South is nothing mean. It's just, everyone's happy all the time. So no, I can't move to Alabama. Chicago. Okay, now that's a little too much. South Carolina, Las Vegas. Okay, I told you it's too hot. I'm just gonna stay in Colorado. That's the conclusion. We're just gonna stay here. We're staying here. We'll tolerate. See, Branson, Missouri. Never heard of that. Okay, yeah, top 5 cities. Branson, Missouri. This country's too big, man. Can we just reduce it? You know? I want to go to Chicago in the morning and have lunch in Miami, and get a hotel in LA, sleep there, and be on my way to New York in the morning. But no, you got to get a plane. Ulrich says, Kiel, Germany. Come to Deutschland. Come to Germany. We will love you in Germany. Come on. Come to Germany. You go to Frankfurt. You go to Bremen, Hamburg. I'm not going to Germany, guys. I think the only parts of Europe I need to see before I die is like Munich, London, Paris, and that's about it. I don't know where I don't have any other. I want to move to Prescott. I live in there's that word, Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan. We did it. Is this like a troll? Are you doing this on purpose? Saskatchewan. 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 Oh, Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan. Wait. Saskatchewan. Do we do it? Saskatchewan. Oh, Saskatchewan. I think I just did it. Wow, that stupid Canadian province. We got it. Saskatchewan. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I do need to end this. Did a long show tonight. Catching up on your stream here in Texas. Thank you for calling at Tallarico. He's teaching heresy. Yes, actually, it's heresy. The guy's like a cunning devil. I remember when he did when Charlie Kirk, when that happened, he was like, Charlie Kirk is an angel. And I'm like, he's going to heaven or something like that. But I was like, man, this guy is such a fraud. Like, you could tell he was doing that to score political points. We'll hit 2 hours and we'll be out of here, baby. Chat is moving too fast. I read everything. They don't say restarted. They say special. Bless your heart. See, that's the thing. I don't want to be hearing that. I want to hear the real thing, I don't want to get appetizers. Bless your heart. No, I want you to just say the right thing. You wouldn't replace Gutfeld. You would be another Gutfeld. Okay, so they're like a clone. I told you guys, I'm Blacker Carlson, man. Blacker Carlson. Candace also said the Jews did it too. Then she said his wife was involved. Yeah, she's blamed everyone from the United States to Egypt to Israel. Everyone except Tyler Robinson. That's just inconceivable. Wow. Can never be him. A 5'2" Gutfeld. Hey, I need to start losing weight or I'm really gonna be great. Greg Gutfeld. Ah, man. Oh, that's funny. That's a good. That's wow. The regime is gone. Who is calling for the strikes from Iran? Oh, that goes back to what I was saying. The IRGC is like, think of an industrial scale company whose sole job it is, or responsibility is to preserve, like Amazon creating an entire military unit to make sure Jeff Bezos never gets out of power, and if he does, only people who agree with Jeff Bezos keep power, and they have all the guns and all the enforcement power. That's the complex situation in Iran. That's why it's not like Venezuela, where boom, you get like a Delcy Rodriguez, and now you own the country. We're gonna do the same thing in Cuba. We'll own Cuba too. You think I should start memberships? Okay. Memberships to what? We're gonna start like a cult. Ooh, then I can really move to Salt Lake City. No, memberships. Do we do memberships? Do we do memberships? You guys answer that in the chat. What do we offer in memberships? Is it just going to be a grift play? Is this just like a 4D grift move? Or do we have to offer value and stuff, Okay. No, yes, no, yeah, okay. How about Moscow, Idaho? Wait, there's a Moscow, Idaho? Really? Who made that up? There's a Moscow, Idaho. Oh, there is. That's funny. Okay, that's hilarious. Wow. Oh, crap. I asked 2 questions back to back, so now I forgot which one you guys are answering. Okay, we're not going to do members today. Maybe tomorrow. I don't know what the obsession with memberships are. It doesn't do anything. Like, does it stop ads on the channel? Does it mean you don't have to watch 50 ads when watching the videos? What do the memberships do? Yeah, I don't know. Well, I'll have to calculate whether what I could offer people to join the cult. But I don't know if we need it. Okay, so it's just a grift play, like a professional grifter. I have to. Okay, you know me, baby. I'll grift for a living. I'll start begging donations. I'm gonna say I'm raising it for charity, and the charity's gonna be like, you know what I should do? I should take all the money, not invest it like a wise person. I should buy jewelry and the bling. Yeah. I should buy instant gratification things, Should buy shoes. Ooh, Jordans just came out. The new Nikes are out. You guys saw, right? The new Nikes got released. So okay, see, this is exactly why I don't want to do members. You just said podcast available to members before the plebs get to see it. Oh, nah, we can't do it like that. Nah. We can't do that. You get to see the videos first. Okay, well, everyone's going to see it. So what? Does it really matter that? By the way, I post the moment I finish the edit. That's why some of these videos come out at 10 p.m. Because that day, that's when I stopped editing. I do everything. I don't want to go find an Indian and outsource labor, okay? So until the channel grows, maybe that's what we could do. We could do like an editor fund, pay for the editor, but what's the point? I don't think there's, I don't want to do it. We will do it. Okay, how about 500,000 subscribers? Oh, he says we will find a way to fund you. We enjoy your content. Aw, sappy bastard. Okay. Yeah, we will. Me and the team, we're going to get together. Me and the content director, the producer. You guys don't see him. He's right there. Say hi. Say hi to the chat. Come on, man. Come on. Don't be rude. Say hi to the chat. Come on.
What are we talking about? Come on, man. Why the hell would I take a test?
Told you.
What is he doing? Come on, man.
It's our
Give me
producer,
a little break here.
behind the scenes guy, But yeah, no, ladies and gentlemen, let's pray. God, I thank you very much for everything going on. Lord, I pray for increased strength to everyone in this country, and particularly the people that make the most important decisions. We pray the same prayer every night because it's the most important one. We thank you for everything you've given us, and we pray that you give our leaders the kind of wisdom Solomon had to rule his people, to judge his people. In Jesus' name, amen. All right. We need to add like another line to the prayer. We gotta start upgrading, George, you're saying the exact same thing. It's like you're a robot. You're AI now. Okay, well, AI doesn't slap itself. Okay, I'm AI, but I can do that. No, yeah, we might start asking God for things. We might be like, Lord, give us some money too. Why are you giving us wisdom? Look, here are the bank account details. Send a wire. It's only a $20 fee, depending on the bank. Could be $25. But yeah, good night. Goodbye. So, conclusion, I don't know where I'm moving to, because all of you guys, when I said, hey, where should I move to? You all just said the places you are. George, move to Moscow, Idaho, because that's where you live, right? So I didn't get that. Basically any other show. Yep. So you guys are still grounded. Good night. Keep talking. I'm done painting my basement floor. This is what I was saying before. I was saying this yesterday. You guys treat me like white noise. I'm painting my floor. You're ruining it. Okay. Yeah, let me just keep talking. Talk my throat to death so that you can finish your basement floor. Wow. Incredible. No appreciation. George, while you were talking about geopolitics, we were eating dinner. Yeah, you were just in the background. Third wheeling. It's okay. Digital third wheel. That's what I'll be.